This was the Awesome Assam campaign with Priyanka Chopra.
Okay.
Do you think there is something that could have been done differently?
No, সেই সময়ত যিটো দৰকাৰ আছিলে সময়ত, that's why it was a requirement. And we thought that it was required. আৰু publicity পাইছে, নোহোৱা নহয়। প্ৰিয়ংকা চোপ্ৰা অহাৰ কাৰণে অসমীয়া publicity নোপোৱা নহয়। So he is herself as a actress, have a, reach out. Last year, we received around 1 crore tourists in Assam.
Wow.
Right, that is a record. And that is something I think probably is the outcome of many efforts that was taken before.
True. মানুহৰ contribution কি হ'ব লাগে in being more inviting, in being more hospitable?
অসমত যিটো hospitality পায়, তেনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ people are very soft spoken.
True.
We interacted with many tourists. আমি যেতিয়া কথা পাতোঁ, তেওঁলোকৰ এটাই হেৰি আহে tour হ'ব যে অসমত very hospitable. People are very hospitable, very polite behavior. আমাৰ অকণমান professionalism এটা লাগে.
Be sure to stick around for the next episode. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. আৰু Padma sir নিজেও কৈ দিব Gplus channel to subscribe কৰিবৰ কাৰণে. But
We already have had a lot of subscribers.
we can always have more. No? My next guest is an IRS officer, a public servant, a taxman, a writer by passion, and someone who's now taking hold of the state bureaucracy under his leadership to transform. He's also someone I've last known who donated 10 days of his salary to the flood relief mission in Assam. Please welcome to the show, Kumar Padmapani Bora. Hi, Padmada, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for taking out the time with the kind of work and the background that you have. I'm sure you're going to come over to both.
Fortunately, I got today some time. And I can spare for it.
Very nice. Good to know that. Now, so we'll ease into the conversation. Sir, how do you define a public servant? Who do you think is how do you define a public servant?
See, public servant is somebody, he should have a, passion for working for public. And there's not, as something very stereotype definition of public service. It can be anything. I'm in a civil service, that is also public service. Somebody is in politics, that is also public service. You are also doing a public service. And somebody is, we are sitting in a restaurant, that is all, they are also doing public service. They're serving the public.
Okay.
So it has that larger scope. Everybody is doing public service.
Then I will try to rephrase it. How do you define a good civil servant? How do you define a civil servant according to you? Maybe over the years of your training, over the years of your induction, when you studied from college, when you studied in school, there's a different thought process. When you go into the academy for training, there's a different training and teaching that they do. How do they define?
See, civil service, if you ask me, this is something, there's an exam, you must be knowing that.
Correct.
So everybody recruited through a particular exam, either by the Union Public Service Commission or State Public Service Commission. And the civil service always, have some rules and regulations. So you have to be within that rules and regulation. You have certain restrictions, you have to follow that. And you are somebody, you have to follow the rules, and whenever you work, you should see that basically that should serve the public in a greater way, in a larger perspective. And your acts should not, have an adverse impact on public. That is primarily important. And most of the times you have to be a good listener. You should know the public interest, what do they need. And accordingly, you have to frame rules and regulation. Obviously, that is exactly subject to approval of the competent authority, but you have to define or you have to frame it in a way.
Bahut niyam kanun follow kori pelai when you are working for the public, you would call that a civil service.
Yes, civil service, obviously, it has certain parameters and boundaries. You cannot go beyond that. So always you are restricted within the rules and regulations. And that is been taught in the academy. Laws, as obviously rules, whenever we talk about rules, then law also comes. So we have to be within that.
Got it. Okay. Sir, I would only request you to for our audience, I would request you to tell us about all the portfolios that you're holding today, because if I read out, that is one thing, but I would love for you to.
This is not portfolio exactly. I've been given some responsibilities. I'm trying to work and discharge my responsibility as far as possible. I'm basically from revenue service, knowing that I work most of my career in the income tax department. Presently I'm deputation, and I'm presently secretary to government of Assam in the tourism department. I'm also managing director tourism corporation. Apart from them, I'm holding two posts. Two posts as a project director of some infrastructure financing authority, that is more into the infrastructure financing, mega infrastructure financing, and also the chief minister mega mission, that is into various self-employment generating schemes into various sectors like agriculture, veterinary, fishery, animal husbandry, and PNRD.
So যেতিয়া আপুনি নিজৰ introduction আৰু আপোনাৰ portfolio নকওঁ, আপুনি নিজৰ কথা কয়, you have to talk about so many different departments that you're dealing with. Do you think a civil servant is stretched too thin? মানে বহুত মানে কাম ইমান আছে, pressure ইমান আছে, and মানে you have to be everywhere at all times. Do you think?
This is all about management. How to manage that is important. Civil service, again, you have asked me a question. Civil service also require management skill, leadership. But how stress you should not take. You should enjoy. You should have patience for that work. And more kind of important নহয়. If I'm working for 14 hours, that's not important for me. My importance is for the work. Work complete ko pariso nai. Sometimes it may take 14 hours, sometimes it may take 2 hours. 2 ঘন্টা যদি ফিরে আসে ওলাই যাম। আজি Saturday. Saturday is a second Saturday is a holiday. Sometimes I'm in work. আজি অকমান সময় পালো ইয়াত বহি আছো। But if I have work, so I have to be in the office.
Obviously.
So you have to work like that. That I don't think that there is stress.
যেতিয়া আপুনি চাৰ্ভিচেছ জইন কৰিছিলে, ডিড ইউ থিংক উইথ দি আইডিয়া মোৰ এটা ভাল 9 to 5 জব হ'ব, ঘৰ যাম 6 o'clock, I'll spend time with my family, I'll spend time with my kids, and I will do 2-year vacation? Do you think that is something that has happened?
I don't think anybody who is entering to civil service যেনেকৈ যে মই 9 to 6 জব কৰিম এনেকুৱা নহয়। চব কেতিয়াবা সেইটো যেনেকৈ ক'লোঁ, কেতিয়াবা হয়তো 14 hours লাগিব পাৰে, মই কেতিয়াবা 3টা বজাতো গৈছোঁ।
চৰি, মই ইণ্টাৰাপ্ট কৰিছোঁ। মানুহৰ ভুল ধাৰণা এটা আছে যে নাই গভৰ্ণমেণ্ট জব হ'লে আৰু মই মানে UPSC দিম আৰু এক্সাম দিম, অলপ মানে লাইফটো ভাল হ'ব, ডিচিপ্লিন হ'ব, মই আৰামছে ৰিলেক্স
ডিচিপ্লিন। বাট থিং ইজ ডেট কি আৰাম বুলি কথা নহয়, যিকোনো বস্তুত যেতিয়া ইণ্টাৰেষ্ট থাকিব তো আৰাম তাতে আৰাম হ'ব। আৰু দ্য চিভিল ছাৰ্ভিচ বুলি যিটো ট্ৰেডিশ্যনেল হেৰি আছে, চেঞ্জিং নাও উইথ টাইমছ। আগতে মানুহে ভাবিব পাৰে যে মোৰ একদম ৰেড লাইট থকা গাড়ী থাকিব, আগত হেৰি থাকিব, ইট ইজ চেঞ্জিং। ইভেন এণ্টায়াৰ পাব্লিক ছাৰ্ভিচ ইজ গেটিং চেঞ্জ। এতিয়া হৈছে কি মোৰ পিপল চেণ্ট্ৰিক চব সময়তে। তো you are doing something, you are serving in the media, serving in the government, somebody is doing it, your waiter is also doing a public service. Correct. So when you কাম কৰি আছে, ইয়াত বেলেগ একো নাই, doing a job, জবটো কৰিব লাগিব 5 to 9 to 5. I don't think that is a very কোনোবাই ভাবিছে যদি এইটো ভুল ভাবিছে।
আজিকালি genuinely the audience today feels that if you ask someone on the road also, would you like to do business or would you like to do a government job, they'll say government job is preferred. Why? Security, time, XYZ. But I understand the idea. If you love your job, you love your job. You give 14 hours to it, you give 16 hours to it, it doesn't matter.
But what security? Security বুলি কথা নাই। কি হয় সেইটোৱে মোক কৈছে যে আগতে যিটো মানুহৰ মনোভাৱ থাকে, গভৰ্ণমেণ্ট চাকৰি কৰিলে তেওঁ এটা 30 years কৰিলে, আফটাৰ দ্যাট he'll get a pension, the life is secured. It's not like that. I don't have pension. 2005 onwards I don't have that, but I'm working. This is more, এইটো কথা নহয় যে কি মোৰ চিকিউৰিটি আছে কাৰণে কাম কৰিছোঁ, এনেকুৱা নহয়। বাট উই শুড হেভ ফাৰ্ষ্ট থিং that পেচেণ্ট থাকিব লাগিব, ইণ্টাৰেষ্ট থাকিব লাগিব, চবৰ নিজৰ অৰিয়েণ্টেশ্যন থাকে, তো সেই হিচাপত কাম কৰে। চ' বিজনেছো কৰিব পাৰে, বিজনেছ ইজ অলছ' গুড। আমি নিজে মই যিটো কথা কৈছোঁ, মই যিটো এটা কাম এটা মই কৰি আছোঁ, দিছ ইজ চেল্ফ এমপ্লয়মেণ্ট জেনেৰেশ্যন, দেটছ অলছ' ইম্পৰ্টেণ্ট। আৰু পিপল শুড কাম আউট, তেওঁলোক আহিব লাগে, কাম কৰিব লাগে। নট নেচেচাৰি সদায় আমি গভৰ্ণমেণ্ট জবে কৰিম।
Obviously. মানে লাইফৰ এটা parallel, when you have time for doing your primary job, there can always
you
be
should be a leader. That's how I feel. Whether you're a business, whether in a government, whether in a cinema, whether in a media, everywhere, you should be a leader.
Super. Be a leader. Now I just want to on that note only, maybe last one question is, do you think services have changed in the kind of government work that you have done, the work in the government that you have done has changed and has changed or has evolved? আমি বোলে 10 বছৰ আগতে এইকিটা ফৰ্মেটত কাম কৰিছিলোঁ, and now 10 years later, this is how, Siddharth, these are things that have changed. I am more accountable, or I am not accountable, or I have more decision making. Do you think those things have changed in the...
It is a ongoing process. It's a learning process. আমি সকলো শিকি থাকো, নতুন technology আহিছে, নতুন medium আহিছে. Now see, social media so important now, so powerful. আজি 10 বছৰ আগত নাছিলে. So this is a new features, and government also choli ase. Social media, you have to visible, and you have to reach out the people. Manu direct eta ki agote jodi kabak approach koribo logia, you have to write a letter. Eta ki directly you can just WhatsApp, or you can just tweet. So that information is there. So you have to more active. The change oi thake bola hala change oi thake. And next 10 years our change the world, and we have to add that behavior and real change.
Fantastic. And if I tell you that there is, say, if you are given absolute power, one particular decision that maybe you would consider changing in the services.
I don't need absolute power, because I believe absolute power corrupts you absolutely.
But no, suppose if I tell you you had the ability to take one major change in the services, in the bureaucracy today, maybe you would consider, what would you consider changing?
No, I'm not in the position to change now.
Now I'm giving you absolute power. Then what would it? So maybe the dream change.
Absolute power. I believe in limited power.
Acha, limited power. Yes, sir. But I put ekdom avoid criticism question too.
Limited power.
Okay. Now we'll
always subject to public scrutiny. So I don't need absolute.
Correct. Now we'll talk to you about a couple of other things that one janigo bishai. So one of your portfolios is that of the MD of Assam Tourism Development Corporation. Let's talk about the last time when ATDC was got a lot of press attention, positive, negative. I don't want to get into that, but it was when the...
Of course, I believe positive.
Positive. But this was the Awesome Assam campaign with Priyanka Chopra.
Okay.
Do you think there is something that could have been done differently?
No, সেই সময়ত যিটো দৰকাৰ আছিলে সময়ত, that it was a requirement, and we thought that it was required. And publicity পাইছে, নোহোৱা নহয়. Priyanka Chopra অহাৰ কাৰণে অসমীয়া publicity নোপোৱা নহয়. So he is herself is a actress, have a reach out to public, followers. সেইখিনিতো আমি পামেই. Everything, all campaign has a impact.
True.
You are in media, you must be knowing that.
Of course.
Everything, whether it's a negative or positive, everything has a impact. কেতিয়াবা কেতিয়াবা help কৰিব আমাক. আজি আমি last year we received around 1 crore tourists in Assam.
Wow.
Right, that is a record. And that is something I think probably is the outcome of many efforts that was taken before.
True.
It's not that.
And do you think otherwise brand ambassadors work?
Yeah, it works. Obviously, it works because you must be knowing better than me. Branding is something you can take help of brand ambassadors, influencers. Now the time is of influencers.
Right.
Social media everywhere, the influencers.
Right.
We also try to bring influencers.
Right.
Brand ambassador কেতিয়াবা লৈছে এতিয়া মই নিজে আমি আনিছোঁ influencers. আমি তেওঁলোকৰ পৰা ৰীল বনাইছোঁ, ৰীল তেওঁলোকে দিছে.
Correct.
So it works.
And now let's take out all the influencers and the Priyanka Chopras of the world. Let's move them aside. And I will tell you, as the MD tourism, if I tell you to sell Assam to someone, not sell Assam to someone, but sell the idea, the concept of selling Assam tourism to someone, what would your elevator pitch be? That these are the 5 things that you do, and Assam is the best place to come. What would your elevator pitch be?
We're doing aggressively on that part. আমি কৰি আছোঁ, and we are doing digital media campaign. And our social media, we have much reach now, and we are এইটো হ'ল. And for marketing, digital time, গতিকে digital যাবই লাগিব. Then we tried to conduct some roadshow. That is was again important to bring out your things to the outside world and have meetings, B2B meet with the tour operators. You take your people there. So we conducted in Delhi, Bombay, major cities. I mean, these are conduct also, and very tremendous response we received in Delhi and Bombay. You could see. I think probably you also.
Yes, of course.
And even Bombay, a lot of people from Bollywood also joined us.
Right.
It was we conducted a session on that film tourism shooting in Assam, and we got a good response from OTT channels and Bollywood. So that is again one thing. And probably again you see the mega bihu that organized here. It's a massive thing.
Right.
Not only the national media, international media wrote about.
Right.
So it is again you have to popularize.
Correct.
You have to popularize the things outside. Again, I could see the Bihu dance in Times Square is 2 days back.
Right.
And it's also this thing.
Yes,
So
the fusion by Papon is there. The Times Square video is there. I think
we all have to work together.
Right.
Again, about Assam history, we organized the Lasik Dupafukan's 400 years celebration in Delhi. That also gave us a lot of publicity.
Right.
So the tourism is about everything. So we are working on that, and I think hopefully we are going to do better in the tourism sector. And last year, the response that we received from tourists was tremendous.
Phenomenal. Do you attribute that to mostly Kamakhya? Do you attribute that to Ambubachi? Do you attribute that to anything else? Do you think it's for Kaziranga?
See, a lot of things. More karne, it's a completely noton field. I'm purely a taxman.
Yes.
And most of the time, I work in the income tax department. Mostly in investigation again.
Right.
Not in this thing, mostly in a search and seizure investigation thing I work. And I had the interest for the reason and obviously in the tourism. So I explored that and I found after almost going to 2 years in January that we have a lot of potential. Assam has so many products. Imagine both to us. সেইটো ৰিলিজিয়াছ টুৰিজিমত যেতিয়া আমি কামাখ্যাৰ কথা কওঁ যিকোনো মানুহ আহে কামাখ্যাৰ মন্দিৰত যাবই হয় না তাৰ পাছত কি হয় ৰিলিজিয়াছ টুৰিজিমটো অকল কামাখ্যা যেনেকৈ লিড কৰে বুলি কওঁ তেনেকৈ উই হেভ আৰু কম্পনেণ্ট আছে শিৱ শংকৰ আছে আমাৰ ইয়াত যিটো আমি ষষ্ঠ জ্যোতিৰ্লিংগ বুলি কওঁ 6 জ্যোতিৰ্লিংগ শিৱপুৰাণত লিখা আছে দেন আমি যদি ইষ্টলৈ যাওঁ তাতো আমি পাম আমাৰ কম্পনেণ্ট বহুত আছে পৰশম কুণ্ড ফালে আমি যাব পাৰোঁ আমি তেজপুৰত যাব পাৰোঁ এনেকুৱা ৰিলিজিয়াছ চাৰ্কিটৰ বুদ্ধিষ্ট চাৰ্কিট আছে আমাৰ তো তাৰ পাছতে ৱাইল্ড লাইফ অসমৰ নিচিনা ৱাইল্ড লাইফ পটেঞ্চিয়েল ক'তো নাই য'ত আমাৰ ইমানখন নেশ্যনেল পাৰ্ক আছে আমাৰ ৱাইল্ড লাইফ চেঞ্চুৰীজ আছে তো অভিয়াছলি আমাৰ এইটো ছেকেণ্ড প্ৰডাক্ট হ'ল আমাৰ হিলছ এৰিয়াবিলাক আছে তাত যাব পাৰে ৰুৰেল টুৰিজিম দিছ টাইম ইউ উইল বি হেপী টু ন' দেট বিশ্বনাথ ঘাট
Okay. Yes.
মানে ভিলেজ টুৰিজিম ভিলেজ ইন ইণ্ডিয়াত দিছ এৱাৰ্ড পাইছে চ' এনেকুৱা বস্তু আমাৰ প্ৰটেক্ট চবতে আছে তো I think probably আমি অকণমান আৰু যদি এক্সপ্ল'ৰ কৰোঁ কণ্টিনিউৱাছ প্ৰচেছ এইটো যেনেকৈ অলৰেডি ইউ ট'ল্ড মি দেট কি ইভেলুৱেশ্যন এটা হৈ থাকে তো কণ্টিনিউৱাছ প্ৰচেছত গৈ আছে
মানুহৰ কণ্ট্ৰিবিউশ্যন কি হ'ব লাগে in being more inviting, in being more hospitable? Do you think that administration and government can do only so much? মানুহে যদি আগবাঢ়ি নাহে if they are not welcoming, I don't think it can ever be a
welcoming. And আমি ভাবোঁ যে অসমত যিটো হস্পিটেলিটি পায় তেনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ পিপুল আৰ ভেৰি ছফ্ট স্পোকেন উই ইণ্টাৰেক্টেড মেনি টুৰিষ্ট আমি যেতিয়া কথা পাতোঁ তেওঁলোকৰ এটাই হেৰি আহে টুৰ অসমত ভেৰি হস্পিটেবল পিপুল আৰ ভেৰি হস্পিটেবল ভেৰি পলাইট বিহেভিয়াৰ আমাৰ অকণমান প্ৰফেচনেলিটি এটা লাগে হয় ন যাতে আমাৰ কি হয় কি ছাৰ্ভিচ ইণ্ডাষ্ট্ৰি হয়তো
ৰাইট
ছাৰ্ভিচ ইণ্ডাষ্ট্ৰি ইজ প্ৰফেচনেলি ভেৰি ইম্পৰ্টেণ্ট স্কিলিং ইজ ইম্পৰ্টেণ্ট
অফক'ৰ্ছ
এগেইন আপস্কিলিং ইজ অলছ' ইম্পৰ্টেণ্ট
ৰাইট
সেইখিনি আমাৰ ড্ৰাইভাৰে হওক বা আমাৰ হস্পিটেলিটি ছেক্টৰত যিখিনি ছাৰ্ভিচ ছেক্টৰত ৱেটাৰে হওক বা আমাৰ ফ্ৰণ্ট ডেস্কত হওক যিখিনি কাম কৰে সেইখিনি আৰু অলপ স্কিলিঙৰ প্ৰয়োজন আছে মানে প্ৰয়োজন আছে মই ভাবোঁ তেনেকৈ কৰিলে আমাৰ অসম আৰু আগবাঢ়ি
in due time, I think that will also.
We are trying also.
I want to talk about one amazing thing you said. No, you said I'm a taxman, and you have been involved in a lot of search and seizure.
That I don't want to discuss here.
But
always a confidential matter. So
no, but how I see it is, I think at a movie, please correct me if I'm wrong. This movie was called Raid. It showed this tax officer breaking down walls and taking out loads of money. Have you done that? Have you done that kind of thing?
We did.
Guwahati Connection?
That is great movie kon jikhon banaisile.
Hoy.
Even it was based on actual story.
Right.
Dar jikhon story likhise te ejon IRS officer.
Right.
He wrote the story. So it's based on obviously facts, actual facts. I cannot say it Guwahati Connection.
Without taking names, if you get, you have
Yeah, probably in lives jone investigation about tax department কাম কৰিছে. So everybody has this experience.
everyone has done it. ঠিক আছে আছে নে Guwahati list আছে
Nah, I am doing some other service thing.
Got it. Got it. Now I want to maybe tourism related one small question. Again, not absolute power, but if you had the chance to appoint one dream ambassador, who you think would be the best person to represent Assam? One best person.
So again, this is not official.
Nothing is official.
I found Amitabh Bachchan.
You
because I have a personal interaction with him.
Oh wow.
And I found him very professional and the influence he has, obviously. I hope that যদি কৰিব পৰা যায়.
হয় wow আছে নেকি বা ক'বাত secret
Secret একো নাই, but obviously I said you have asked me personal question.
right
I have a personal comment to say.
right ঠিক আছে and now এতিয়া মই আজিৰ youthৰ কথা পাতো আপোনাৰ লগত people are we have this trend that we can clearly see a trend that people are fast losing their connection with God at some level. The younger audiences are no longer as inclined spiritually or towards religion as they were, as our parents are at this point. You know, Kamakhya jabole khomoy nai ba moi mondir jabole time na pa, or I don't believe. Those kind of things have festered, or these thoughts have come in. Do you think that impacts the country as a whole? Do you think that impacts Assam as a whole, whether a spiritual or religious tourism destination point of view? Kamakhya to will it continue to be the
আমাৰ যিটো footfall ই বাঢ়ি গৈ আছে, increasing day by day. And obviously we should because spirituality always there inside you. সকলোৰে মনত spirituality থাকে, and we should pursue that. We should show our next generation because we should have the faith on God. I strongly believe that. মই হয়তো পূজা নকৰাকৈ কেতিয়াও অফিচলৈ নাযাওঁ.
আচ্ছা
মই যোৱা নাই. মই যেতিয়াই ওলাই যাওঁ মই অভিয়াছলি মোৰ ঘৰত মন্দিৰ থাকে, মই তাত সেৱা নকৰাকৈ কেতিয়াও নাযাওঁ, কাৰণ সৰুৰ আমি দেখিছোঁ এইটো বস্তু. So that is there with us and I'm trying to inculcate that with my children also.
right
মই হয়তো মোৰ ল'ৰা ছোৱালী মই 3-4 ঘণ্টা কামাখ্যা গৈছোঁ. So মোৰ second যিটো my son is only not even 2 years, but he knows আমাৰ ঘৰত সি দেখিলে ভগৱানৰ ক'ত আছে সি নিজে নমস্কাৰ কৰে, right? So বা ছোৱালী মোক 7 বছৰ আমি সৰুৰ পৰা শিকাইছোঁ ভগৱানৰ কথা, আমি যাওঁ, আমি সবেই কৰিব লাগে. Always there, God is always there everywhere, I believe, and that gives you energy,
true,
to work positively.
I think that also shows a sense of humility that always bow down your head to something.
And somehow your people, everybody has ego. Ego to God, I think probably you can control your ego.
Now we'll talk a little bit about your family. Please tell us how are you as a taxman, as a public servant, and as a family man? What your family?
I don't want to everything, but sometimes obviously family অকমান সময় কম পাই কেতিয়াবা মই 10টাত যদি অফিচ গৈছোঁ, কেতিয়াবা 8টাতো আহিছোঁ, কেতিয়াবা 7টাত আহিছোঁ, কেতিয়াবা হয়তো ফোনতো থাকোঁ মই. মোৰ এটা মই আগতেও কৈছোঁ যে I don't count time. মোৰ কাৰণে সময় ইম্পৰ্টেণ্ট হয়. 2 ঘণ্টা যদি কামটো হৈ যায়, I will free, I feel mentally free. But if it is not done, মই হয়তো 12 ঘণ্টা 14 ঘণ্টাও কাম কৰিম. And I want my people to work like that. So sometimes হয়তো এইটো কাৰণে মানে এফেক্ট হ'ব পাৰে, but I try to accommodate. But কেতিয়াবা হয় এতিয়া বহুত দিন হৈ যায় কি ক'ৰবাত যাবলগীয়া হয়, মই একেলগে ফ্লাইটত ট্ৰেভেলে কৰা নাই বহুত দিন.
আচ্ছা
they go separately, I go separately, I join them, and that's how it's working. Or at least for last 3-4 years এনেকৈ কৰি আছোঁ. কেতিয়াবা হয় এবাৰ এটা হেৰিত যাওঁতে একেলগে গ'লোঁ, and then my wife told me first time when you have seen that how it is difficult to control 2 kids.
Right, there's a dream come true for her when I get a flight with them.
অকলে গৈ থাকে. Next time মই যেতিয়া দিল্লী পৰা আহিছোঁ একেলগে আহোঁতে যেমন হয়, it's really difficult.
That's beautiful. I think also I want to know from a husband's perspective, from your perspective. Your wife is an internationally acclaimed Khattriya dancer, and she's globally known now. She's done a fantastic performance, I believe, recently. How does that balance your as your better half? How does she balance in your life?
No, she does a lot of things for my family because, again, she's just submitted her PhD and she's pursuing her dance. She's in Vietnam now. Yesterday she had a program.
Yeah.
And apart from that, managing 2 kids and again study of my daughter, he has to manage that. I hardly get time to teach her. Sometimes exam agat moi kiraba saisu kinu moi nazanu ras sama ki pohile no.
Acha.
So exam agat mo kwa tumi ki jana no hoy. So apart from her patience, she's managing household affairs and plus my study of my kids. So and again upbringing, they are bringing. So she's balancing.
Amazing.
And
who has a more more difficult portfolio, you or her?
Is again the difference. You have to look at from different perspective. So that is again at a for that khatu asile. You must knowing I know that was left. That is if you allow me to, I can.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Tell about that. Dusan edan burha buri asile, right? So the man used to go for used to paddy field, and woman used to manage the house on affairs. So ebar mane itu esto kaji alre theke. So moi besi kam kor moi besi kam kor.
That's
right. So I didn't think that they decided that the buri manu they'll she'll go to the paddy field and the husband he'll work at home. So last of the year did not go. So she couldn't do hal babo lage, guru sorabo lage, no. তা এওঁ ইয়াত ঘৰ জাৰু দিব লাগে, ঠিক আছে, কাহিনী পাতি দিব লাগে। লাষ্টত ৰাতি 2টা আহিলে যেতিয়া ভাগৰ যোগে লগ পালে ভাই তহঁতক তই এটা ভাল কাম কৰ, মই ভাল কাম কৰ, এইটো কম্পেয়াৰ কৰিব নালাগে।
ঠিক আছে,
নিজৰ নিজৰ কাম কৰি
ঠিক আছে বাবে বহুত সেফ আনসার নিদিলে এইটো। But now again, just to bring our conversation to a close, I think you beautifully summarized the role of your role in the family and her role in the family. I think that is fantastic. Guwahati is at the heart of Assam because this show is called Guwahati Connection. I always try to find that one connection with Guwahati. What is your strongest memory with Guwahati? Apart from being all born and raised, and this is my place.
You born here, right? But not me.
Right.
I'm from Jorhat.
Yes.
And if you still ask me what is the greatest bonding in, I would say that Padmapani College.
Okay.
I studied here, and there's a first hostel life for me. I studied in Jorhat till class 10, and I came to Padmapani College in 1999 at the age of 16. And obviously, for me, who till 16 years I was in Jorhat only. So তাৰপাছত আহাৰ পাছত যেতিয়া হোষ্টেলৰ হেতু আহে, obviously এটা different atmosphere হয়, but definitely I was here for 5 years. আৰু তাত যিটো ফাৰ্ষ্ট যেতিয়া হোষ্টেলতে মানুহে বহুত ইণ্ডিপেণ্ডেণ্ট হৈ যায়, ৰাইট? ইণ্ডিপেণ্ডেণ্ট হোৱাৰ পাছত তাত বহুত মেমৰি থাকে, তাত কেনেকৈ শিকিব পাৰে। আৰু আজি যদি মই ক'ৰবাত বহি আছোঁ বা ইণ্ডিপেণ্ডেণ্টলি এটা ডিচিশ্যন ল'ব পাৰোঁ মই, এণ্ড মই যদি ভাবোঁ এইটো এনেকৈ হ'ব লাগে, অভিয়াছলি ইয়াৰ পাছত মই যিনো গৈছোঁ দিল্লীত, তাতো হৈছে তাৰ যিটো ফাউণ্ডেশ্যন যে এটা ইণ্ডিপেণ্ডেণ্ট লাইফ চলাই নিজে ডিচিশ্যন মেকিং কৰা। আমাকতো ঘৰৰ পৰা এনেকুৱা কোৱা নাছিলে যে আজিকালি যিটো দেখিছোঁ পেণ্ডেমিক বহুত গাইড কৰি থাকে, আমাৰ সেইটো গাইডটো তেনেকুৱা নাছিলে। বাট উই হ্যাড টু ডিচাইড আৱাৰছেল্ফ, ৰাইট? এইটো ঠিক হ'বনে বেয়া হ'বনে কেনেকৈ কৰিব পৰা যায়। দেট ৱাজ দ্য প্লেচ য'ত মই শিকিছিলোঁ। মোৰ সেইকাৰণে ষ্ট্ৰংগেষ্ট এতিয়াও বৰ্ণিং আছে কটন কলেজ। মই ভাবোঁ পাণবজাৰ যিটো এৰিয়া এবাৰ বেছি দূৰ নহয়, চ' তাৰ সেইটো সদায় থাকে।
And just to bring this conversation to a close, whatever little free time you have today, you've shared it with us. What do you do otherwise in your free time? How do you spend your
free time? I try to find out some of my friends, old friends. পাওঁ গুৱাহাটীত তেনেকুৱা খুব কমে পাওঁ, আগত চব বেলেগ বেলেগ জেগাত আছে। তো মইতো মই টিপিকেল যিটো কৈছিলে, মই ভাবোঁ যে আজিকালি চেঞ্জ হৈছে, বিউৰ'ক্ৰেচি চেঞ্জ হৈছে। মইতো ৰাস্তাটো বহি চাওঁ কেতিয়াবা। আচ্ছা, এইফালে গ'লোঁ উজান বজাৰ পিছফালে বৰবান বহিলোঁ, সিদিনাখন পেণ্ডলতো বহিলোঁ, কাৰোবাৰ পূজাৰ কাৰণে ৰাস্তাতে বহি দিলোঁ, তেনেকৈ কৰিলোঁ। I used to write sometimes while I was in Guwahati in my last posting. দিল্লীত থাকোঁ, এতিয়া অলপ সময় কম পাইছোঁ। কেতিয়াবা লিখিব চেষ্টা কৰ কিবা যদি অসমৰ বিষয়ে লিখিব পৰা যায় ইয়াত বস্তুটো মেনি থিংছ তেনেকৈ টাইম পাছ কৰিব চেষ্টা কৰোঁ এতিয়া যিটো পাইছোঁ এইটোৱে আৰু মই কেতিয়াবা কাৰোবাক বিচাৰি গ'লোঁ ক'ৰবাত আগৰ অল্ড মেমৰিজ যেনেকৈ ক'লোঁ কটন কলেজৰ কথা তো কেতিয়াবা এইবোৰ তেতিয়া বহি দিলোঁ
আচ্ছা
পুৰণা জেগা
সঁচাই বহেনে
এইবোৰত বহিছোঁ মই কটনৰ আগত সেইখন যিখন আমাৰ পুৰণি কেণ্টিন আছে তাত বহি দিলোঁ তো ভাল লাগে বহি পেলাই পাণ বজাৰত গুচি গ'লোঁ এনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ বস্তুবিলাক এক্সপ্ল'ৰ কৰিব চেষ্টা কৰোঁ বিকজ almost 40 years হৈ গ'ল so এতিয়া if I look back I try to find out those old memories
right
yes
ঠিক আছে so this segment is called the rapid fire segment we have about 6 questions for you are you ready
yeah
okay cool the only rule is that you cannot take more than 3 seconds to answer a question answer has to be right so fast a brand ambassador for Assam yes or no
yes
to represent Assam a national international or a regional actor who would you pick
Amitabh Bachchan as I already told
another profession if you were not a public servant
maybe writer sometimes yeah
okay
so
acha a strict dress code or business casual
both yes both I believe both
okay one most pressing issue facing the government today
problem I don't see any problem you have see everything from a positive perspective
okay one thing you would change in Guwahati
cleanliness sometimes
your preference taxman family man or public servant in general
I enjoy taxman being taxman
tax fantastic thank you so much for having this conversation with us sir
thank you so much for inviting me also
thank you so much for being here
and also কি ক'ম মোক মানে ধৈৰ্য সহকাৰে শুনি থকাৰ কাৰণে
নাই শুনি ভাল লাগে কথা পাতি ভাল লাগিছে সেইকাৰণে we had this conversation we once again thank our guest for being here and sharing his valuable time from his very busy routine be sure to stick around for the next episode if you have not subscribed to the channel please subscribe আৰু পদ্মচৰে নিজেও কৈ দিব Gplus channel to subscribe কৰিব কাৰণে but
we already have had a lot of subscribers
we can always have more no?